Hi, I am going to spend this video talking to you about a couple of people who've had different results and have called in, and they haven't had time to write a testimonial, and we haven't asked them to write a success story. We just leave that up to them. But they've all given me permission to share with you in person without using their real name exactly what's happening, because they're all very happy. Number one, there's a woman in Australia who's been working with us for, I guess, 2 years. And she has very severe endometriosis and had to have an operation a while ago and had some scar tissue left there. She also had 2 hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus has scar tissue in it. It's when the tubes inflame, and they also fill with this inflammatory fluid that's within, kind of swells up the tubes. And so she is now working, because in her country she can have a free IVF and she's working with the doctor, heading toward this, looking to see if she can get rid of some more of the scar tissue, and then at the same time be able to the boombox go by, go by, go by. Hi, how are you today? I'm doing great, because we've had a number of people call in, and they do every week, but I started thinking I should share sometimes some of this with you so that you have an idea of what's happening with other people. Because once the new site is up, we're going to have a free membership program where you can communicate with other people and not even have to use your real name, but where there's kind of a community, and we can more likely see what's happening in real time. So here's a couple of the calls we got this week. Number one, we had a call from someone who's pregnant. We helped her have her first child, and that child is now 7 years or 8 years old. She was 7 years old when she first called us last April. And where she started was with kind of an unexplained infertility. The doctor really didn't see that much wrong with her, but she was so tired. Every day between 3 and 5, she just was exhausted. She works 12-hour shifts, and she's on her feet. And of course, she has a child. And she was having some digestive complaints. She couldn't sleep at all. She had very painful periods. And so she started with our unexplained infertility program and added Digestes #1 because of her digestive issues. And already, she started in April, and already by, I think it was, already by May, it was May. Already by May, she was sleeping better. She had less pain with her period. They also were very irregular, and it seemed like this period came with a little more regularity. I mean, she was already seeing things happening. And one of the main shifts that we tell you again and again that you should be looking for to let you know you're doing something unique is that you're seeing more energy. Especially energy 3 to 5 in the afternoon, because if you get exhausted at that time, as we've said many times, this is fertility time. It's also adrenal system time, but it's fertility time. If your fertility function is tired, you're going to have that drop in energy between 3 and 5, and usually it'll come up by 6. That was already changing for her by June. And yet, it just takes time. Now, where are we? We are in July of 2019. She started in 2018 in April, and she's pregnant. But the thing about it is, she's pregnant, but she's now pregnant with a body that's more capable of holding a pregnancy. Why? Because she has the energy to hold a pregnancy. That's one of the main reasons you want to have more energy, because no healing happens without energy. Right? So you have to have energy to be able to have the body even help you to heal, no matter what kind of things you're doing. And we are always thinking not just helping you to get pregnant, but we're thinking about helping you to hold that baby, to have a full pregnancy, to have a good, happy pregnancy, no nausea, no morning sickness, just being happy to be pregnant. So this is what she just called up, and we had somebody new who had just been starting, and she was surprised because Athena and I were so excited that this woman was pregnant, and that when we got off the phone, we said that was one of our customers and she's pregnant. And the new person said to us, Bree, said, that was not a friend, that was a customer, because that's how we feel about your success in here. We're very happy for you, because when you work with us, when you do these programs, you want to have your mind, the mindset, like we have on our YouTube channel now, that mindset that Zarifa and I talked about, is shifting your mind from thinking, I've got to fix this, I've got to fix that, I got to look and see about this, and I got to look and see about that, and trusting that if you take the herbs that have been shown for thousands of years to really support your fertility function, and you do the Radiant Wonder Fertility Plan, you're doing the energy exercises, you're doing the fertility massage, you're doing the things that activate the fertilizer that you put in the garden. So you put in the herbs, then you do the exercises, and you do the massage, and you stop drinking all those cold drinks, and the body begins to operate again as it used to be able to operate. And that doesn't take running from month to month. Is my cycle short? Is my ovulation short? What is going on? You can test to see if you're ovulating, but you don't have to focus as much on the details because they will start to balance. One of the things we're going to do over the next few months is I'm also going to give you a list of nutrients that are good for you to take, because there's so many millions of things that people are telling you to take, and it kind of depends which situation you're in as to which nutrients are really good for you. For example, DHEA is promoted as being the thing in Western medicine to make the egg stronger, because there's been a lot of research. But I know, and you know, if you've been working with us for a while, that if you are overheating and tend to have hot flashes, it's not the time to be taking the DHEA, because DHEA will heat things up a little more in the body. And so you want to calm things down, build back more sexual fluid, cervical mucus, and then start DHEA. Same thing goes for Vitex. So we're going to have that kind of a list. And then we're also going to have some very simple things that you can do in your home to help you not to be taking in quite as many toxins, because that can also help your egg quality. So we are thinking about this in a very unique but very logical way, that we want to protect the development of your eggs and your sperm. We want to encourage the best quality in the world. I wouldn't be too concerned about thinking about how many eggs you have left, because you only need one. So the main concern, if you're thinking about that and on that level, is to be thinking about increasing the quality of the eggs you're developing. And it takes you 4 months to be able to create enough follicles to create some really good quality eggs. It takes your husband 3 months. So look at, I'll call her Jody. Look at Jody. She had a child. She started raising the child. She delivered the child. She started raising the child. She was working 12-hour shifts. She's standing the whole time. She wasn't sleeping. She was having pain. She's only 34 years old. So she felt as if she were 49 or 50 years old. And now she's feeling her age again, and now she's pregnant. So don't forget, there's nothing wrong with you, and it's not your fault, and you haven't done anything wrong. You are simply, no matter what the doctor says, if the doctor says there's no solution and all you can do is egg donor, that might be true, but then again, it might not. He doesn't consider things that are outside of his protocol, because that's not how he's trained. But if you do these things, you're going to start to see amazing results. Here's somebody who called, let me see. Well, here's a person who's on the premature ovarian failure plan. She said, it's only been 3 weeks since I started it, and I just got my period, and I haven't had it for 2 years. I haven't had a natural cycle in over 2 years. I know it's too early, but I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy I found Radiant Wonder. In our program, we look upon your cycle as if you're not having a cycle, it's usually one of two things. Either you need to build back more blood, or there's too much physical tension in the body and also in the reproductive area. So what can you do about those two things? Well, you know, building blood means strengthening your digestive function and eating the right foods. So we encourage you to eat lots of cooked greens every day, because those will not only help your skin and your nails, but they're also, and your uterine wall to be beautiful, but they will also help your blood. And spirulina is something you can add to a program to help blood. And there's also most of the foundation formulas. Once you bring back sexual fluids and cervical mucus as you move into the next stage, almost all of those are blood builders. So you need blood, or it's the tension. So what would you do about the tension? Well, if you're taking a program, whether it's premature ovarian failure or it's unexplained infertility, whatever it is, one of the herbs in your program is usually something like balance or stress relief. And both of these are helping to break down some of that extra physical stress that's in the body that can get in the way, so there's not as good a flow of energy and blood through the whole body. You can also release that stress by consistently doing the Radiant energy exercises every day, because they get rid of stress in the little places in the body where you just don't even know it's there. And it will also help to drive more energy, more blood, better circulation to your reproductive area. If you haven't had a cycle for a while, this is really important, because the muscles haven't been used for a while. Most of your reproductive area is full of muscles, the uterus, the fallopian tubes, blah, blah, blah. And so you want to bring more energy and blood to that area. If you're on a program and you're having digestive issues like Jody had, the other person, then you would add something like Digestes 1. If you are really concerned about adding a good blood builder that also brings a lot of oxygen into the blood, you could add spirulina, 1 bottle of spirulina to your program. And if you are like she is, you could add cinnamon emporia. Cinnamon emporia is good for any fertility program at all. 2 twice a day is fine. If you can only afford 1 bottle, 3 once a day is going to be very good. And cinnamon emporia is so gentle. It's so gentle that I have an acupuncture friend who used it actually on a woman who was pregnant, who needed it at a certain time of her pregnancy. You would never do that for yourself. You would always go to an acupuncturist and see someone one-on-one when you're pregnant to make a decision like that. But it's very gentle, and yet at the same time, it's so lovely. That was the first product that I tried, and someone gave it to me. That's the first introduction I had with the fertility things. I went to an herbal store for Chinese herbal formulas, and the person gave this to me and said, take this, it'll unblock your tubes and it'll bring more energy and blood and reproductive energy, energy and blood, better circulation to the uterus and the reproductive area. So that's a wonderful thing to add for that reason. So anyway, we're really glad for her. I don't want this to go too long. I wonder if I should just stop there. I'll just read this one then, or kind of summarize it. We'll call this person Jeanette. So Jeanette has been taking the follicle stimulating hormone program so far. Now, follicle stimulating, I don't pay much attention to AMH because I know all the ramifications of that. Follicle stimulating hormone is actually affected a lot by stress. Some doctors may say no, but many doctors recognize at this point that when you're very stressed, your FSH can go through the roof. And as you know, when you haven't had a cycle for a while, you really can't put much credence in your hormonal balance. So you'll go in and the doctor will tell you that you're menopausal, but once your cycle comes back, bingo, everything comes back into play. And he just doesn't expect your cycle to ever come back. But stranger things have happened. Anyway, so it seems to be working so far. I've not had that many hot flashes lately. And it feels so good to go for days without any at all. I feel so blessed right now. Thank God something is finally working. That is one of the main things that we want with this site. We want you to make sure that you're getting results you can feel and results you can see. And you know the first result you're looking for is more energy, because that's going to be the driving force that's going to help the herbs work more deeply and more quickly. For a couple of cycles, I was taking Femara, and I was not reacting to it. I took 10 pills every day for 5 days. I was not responding well, when in the past I'd been just fine. Well, you know why she's not responding well, because every time you do one of these cycles, it's a big effort for your body to process the Femara, to process these hormones. You can feel your ovaries hurting, and you can feel how kind of crazy you get. So that's logical. And yet you feel like you're getting worse and worse, and you're a poor responder. That's all I ever heard. I was a poor responder. And so that's not, you can turn these things around. If you can step away from it and help yourself, then you have choices. You can either continue on and see what the odds are of getting pregnant and give yourself a certain number of months to try, maybe 6 months or a year, or you can go ahead and schedule an IVF or an IUI or egg donor. But now you're going to have a body that's better prepared for it, and not a body that's been so smacked down that it can't even respond to the Femara. The doctor then took my FSH, and it was 35. Now, to us, that is not that high. I mean, it's a little too high for his treatments, but you can definitely get pregnant on your own with your FSH as high as 20. But anyway, it was 35. And my OBGYN was not negative to me because we've been working together for a while. Thank you. She just told me we would check the next cycle. If it would come back less than 15, she'd be able to use stimulation for another cycle. What was I going to do? It was Labor Day weekend, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. There must be a way to lower my FSH. I started praying. Then Labor Day night, I found your site. Spent a long time reading and rereading the information. I felt strongly that I should call your number. So I did that. It was the weekend, Labor Day weekend, not expecting anyone to answer. So what happened? The phone rang, and Amanda herself answered. I was shocked. She said she was in the office doing some quiet work and had just thought she should answer the call. It was the only call she had answered in the hours that she had been there. I was so lucky that I decided to call on Labor Day in the night. It was the day that God put you on my path. So what happened? In less than 3 months, my FSH has dropped from 35 to 14.7 to 11.5. I'm so excited. My heart is so full that I can't stop telling my friends about Radiant Wonder. Kudos to everyone. I'm also beginning to see the signs, which we have told her are the first signs after energy that you're looking for if you want to feel that your hormones are beginning to be more balanced. What are those signs? Number 1, more sexual fluids, more energy, and feeling better. When you feel better, your hormonal levels are better. Because when you feel that calm energy, that sense of peace, it's a sign that you're emotionally balanced. And women all know what PMS type feelings are like. And we know that they always have a hormonal element to them. So that's good. So she is definitely feeling a shift. I appreciate that you guys are always there to take my calls or chats, and I try to keep them short. Thank you. My husband and I are so happy together, and we're really looking forward to having a baby. And now we have a logical plan to help us get there, and a great doctor whom we love, and the Radiant Wonder Herbs special plan, and the Radiant Wonder support team. So that story is actually one that didn't come in this week, but it's one that I think when I saw it, I remembered her, and I know her, and she's been successful. I just wanted to share it in person because there's a lot to learn from what she's saying. And as usual, I have a really hard time making a short video. So take care, have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. or hearing from you. Bye.